With summer coming up, we're entering my favorite season of all, margarita season. I love a classic, refreshing margarita on a hot summer's day to enjoy at barbecues, picnics, and on weekend getaways. For the perfect marg, I use Jose Cuervo, the world's #1 tequila brand. A big thank you to Jose Cuervo for continuing to support the pod and help us produce content for all of you. Time to embrace margarita season with Jose Cuervo, and remember to drink responsibly. Welcome back to Infinite Scroll, everyone, the final Infinite Scroll episode of 2024. And you guys will notice that I am joined today by two random people, Annabel Ben David and Alex Serbanovska.
Hello.
So Annabel, you guys know I talk about her all the time. She's also in all of the credits for every Infinite Scroll episode. She is our podcast producer, and she writes the majority of every single episode.
Always slugging away in the Google Doc.
Yes.
For real.
She has co-hosted Viral News episode with me once around this time last year when Jordy was doing her wedding stuff. So welcome back to the pod, Annabel.
Thank you.
And now Alex, she does all of our partnerships. So all of our sponsorships, you guys are like so sweet about our sponsorships. Whenever we have a sponsorship, you guys are like, oh my God, yes, Soleil. Like we love when you guys are getting paid, and that is so kind. So Alex gets all of those for us.
Yes, and also it looks really good on us when you comment that, so keep commenting that.
Keep commenting that.
Keep that up.
Yes, but we thought for the last episode of the year, you guys have been asking to meet the team, to kind of see who's behind the podcast, the greater brand Centennial world. So I thought this was the perfect opportunity. We're going to share our 2025 pop culture predictions as a Gen Z media brand. We are in the know. Well, at least Annabelle and I think are in the know. We'll see if you're in the know.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
She's like, I just sell things.
Yeah.
Here for morale. I love it. I love
and
it.
for Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she's the Swiftie. She's the one, if you guys listen to Minnie, sometimes I give like Swiftie updates. They all come from Alex.
Yeah.
But as you guys will see, we have our margaritas, our Jose Cuervo. We thought for the last episode of the year, although it is a Monday for us right now while we're recording this, we're going to drink these and just cheers to a freaking crazy year. So as always, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. We are trying to get to 500 Spotify reviews by the end of the year, so star rate us, please, on Spotify. Please also sign up to our newsletter, which is called Infinite Scroll. On Fridays, we round up the 5 biggest think pieces on the internet that week, and Annabelle actually usually writes that episode. That newsletter. That newsletter. Also the episode. The newsletter. So give her some support and sign up. Okay, thanks.
Please. I'm always rooting for the newsletter.
We have compiled this list, and we are going to put it together in different sections. So the first section that we're going to share our predictions in are relationships. So that's marriages, engagements, breakups, or even babies. There are a couple of popular predictions that have been floating around TikTok that we thought we would flag here. First, some internet users seem convinced, not me, but some people seem convinced that Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner will get engaged. I do not believe this for the life of me. I actually saw a post today saying that they've been together for 2 years, and I was like, that's crazy. Like, they are not together.
No, I feel like from the get-go, you were always like, they are not real, like that they don't exist in the same universe.
No, they are not a real relationship.
I kind of love them, though. They're cute to me. They're random, but they're cute.
Who are they? What are they? No. To me, they're not in a relationship. To me, they're going to break up this year because they're in a PR relationship and it's not real. Okay, so according to reports from Dumois, Kylie and Timothée seemingly spent Thanksgiving together. Now, considering our recent Blind Items episode, we know that Dumois isn't exactly the most reliable source, so obviously take this with a grain of salt. But the website revealed in an exclusive that Timothée and Kylie reportedly spent Thanksgiving weekend at Wildflower Farms in upstate New York. Dumois sources came to this conclusion after tracking Kylie's private jet. The two have been spotted a couple of times throughout 2024, more recently on a date in New York City. Otherwise, the pair have made extensive efforts to keep their relationship private ever since romance rumors started circulating at the beginning of 2023. I believe it is them keeping it private because they're not in a real relationship, so they're not together that often.
But I feel like if it's a PR relationship, you're meant to have PR? Like, you never see them anywhere. Like, it's not PR, right?
And also, doesn't it benefit Timmy at the moment with his whole Bob Dylan movie coming out? like, would a breakup hide in that, or should they stick together? Like,
Oh, I see.
You know?
Oh, do you think that, have they walked a red carpet?
not that I know of.
Maybe
but I'm
they'll walk
also
a red
not
carpet.
really keeping 100% tabs on them all the time.
Yeah. I think maybe they'll walk a red carpet together for his movie. That's my prediction for next year.
Maybe.
We really went through a whole process
journey.
with that, yeah.
But I feel like every time he's in a movie with someone, everyone's like, they're dating. Is he like ever actually dating anyone? Or is it all a lie?
Okay, so speaking of engagements, many Swifties are under the impression that Taylor and Travis will be getting engaged in 2025. Do you think that?
I don't know, maybe. Maybe it's because like it's assumed that they will. But I feel like maybe she's just like tired. You know?
She's tired.
She literally just toured for like so long. I feel like she just needs to rest.
I know, but I was really surprised to see like 3 days after Era's wrapped that she was at that hospital, like doing press ops with those kids.
He was there too, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, she never stopped.
She
so-
literally never stops.
So
Like
maybe she
It's
will.
crazy.
But also, like, personal life is different to professional life.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree.
I think she may never get married. I was talking about this with one of my friends, and she was, oh my God, who did she compare her to? And she was like, I think she's going to go down this, maybe Joni Mitchell? That
Stevie
might not-
Nicks?
Yes, Stevie Nicks. She said, I think it's going to be a Stevie Nicks vibe where she just never actually like gets married and is just so focused on her career. And I could see that.
I don't know. She'll definitely get married, I think. I feel like that's the life she's been raised in. Like, she loved when she had, like, a younger brother. Like, it's in her music. And that journey and that family, I feel like she will.
But I mean, if you think about her reaction even this year when she was talking about like signed a single cat lady or whatever, I feel like she's like more open to the opportunity or to the possibility that she does not get married and does not have kids. Don't you think Joe kind of ruined that for her?
I do. I see that. But I feel like she still sings about it so much. Like, even when we saw with Maddie Healy, she was like, you know, he took my middle ring off, put it on the wedding
Yeah.
ring, and that made me, like, feel, like, so happy.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, I think she wants that, but I think she's been burnt so many times.
Yeah.
But for all we know, she could already be married, you know?
Oh,
What
God.
if she's married and she's never going to tell anyone because she doesn't owe anyone anything?
I respect that.
No, but marriage licenses are public, guys.
Oh, is that a real thing? I didn't
Yeah,
know. Oh,
yeah.
well,
That's how people, like,
I'm a
find stuff
child.
out, yeah.
You're not a child.
I didn't know that was a thing. But who was like looking every day like Taylor
The
Swift married?
Swifties are obviously looking. You're not a very good Swiftie.
Okay, that's insane. Don't do
can't.
that, people. That's creepy.
Okay, so I mean, obviously there's no specific clues or Easter eggs that lead Swifties to believe that the two might be getting engaged, apart from the fact that they seem really serious about one another and deeply invested in each other's lives and are spending a lot of time together. However, Taylor's Eras tour is now complete, as we just mentioned, so some fans believe that she may take time to focus on her personal life, obviously including Travis. And then, do you have a theory on when Reputation is coming out? Because you've given us theories over this year that I've shared on Mini Scroll and they've never come true.
Yeah, I know. I
This
feel
is
like,
your expertise.
yeah.
This is your time to redeem yourself.
I can't after everything I've said. I was so sure she would release it. Like, I was so confident that she would release it at the Eras tour. But then also she was, like I said, tired. So she's probably just like, no, bye.
tired.
I also think it has so much power to just be like, everyone's like, she's going to do it. She's going to
Yeah.
do it. Like, at the very end, like, I don't know if everyone watching is a fan, but at the very end on the last show, like, they all did this group hug. And I had convinced myself that she was, like, in the middle of the group hug.
No.
Changing. She was, like, putting the rap outfit on. I was like, it's happening. And then she popped out in the same outfit. And I'm like,
Never mind.
what the hell? What the heck is going on?
I love the Swiftie delusion. Like, I love
No,
it so much.
We always say, like, Alex, you're in psychosis.
I have not listened to that album in so long because I refuse to give anyone but Taylor the royalties.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm desperate for Reputation. It's like my birthright.
I know. It's
my
such
birthright.
it's such a good album.
Yeah. And the only time I listen to it is obviously like on YouTube or if I have the CD.
Obviously.
But like I can't stream it because I refuse to not give her the money. So like please Taylor, just release it for me.
Just for me. We'll just clip that for TikTok and tag her, and
Yes.
maybe it will go viral.
Yes.
And then she'll see it.
Yeah.
I love that for you. Okay, so while some people seem to be rooting for Taylor and Travis, many TikTok users, including me, believe that Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater will break up. This was my prediction. So Ari and Ethan's relationship began around mid-2023 and sparked a lot of controversy. So just for a quick recap, both were previously married when they met on the set of Wicked, leading to widespread speculation on social media and in the press about alleged infidelity. Ethan's ex-wife, Lily J. Slater, publicly criticized the relationship, telling Page Six that Ariana is not a girl's girl and that Lily's family, including her 11-month-old baby with Ethan, was collateral damage. However, sources close to Ethan and Ariana have maintained that neither engaged in cheating. Since then, the two have been quite private about their relationship, with Ariana and Ethan only speaking about one another occasionally. Ariana, for instance, opened up about their relationship in a Vanity Fair interview, saying, quote, "The most disappointing part was to see so many people believe the worst version of it. That was definitely a tough ride. There couldn't be a less accurate depiction of a human being than the one that the tabloids spread about him." So, okay, they obviously seem to be going strong, but the reason why I think that they'll break up is because Wicked, like, I know that they have one more movie to come out, so maybe they'll stay together until that press is over. So, like, maybe they'll break up around end of next year. But I just think the way that they got together and kind of like the bubble that they're in with Wicked, like obviously Wicked has deeply impacted Ariana Grande. Like, I don't know if she's coming back from this. So I think this was just like an ecosystem. What?
Sorry, I don't know if she's coming back from this. I think she's thriving.
No,
Obviously she's in her own like bubble.
No, I mean like it's going to impact her and how she interacts with her career, I think, for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And so I think, when it comes to this, like they got so wrapped up. It's like they spent 2 years on this set together. Like obviously it's like, it's like when you're at university and you like are dating somebody who you like live in dorms with because they're like the closest person and the hottest person that's close to you or whatever it is, right? So it's like then you go out into the workforce and you like meet all these other men and you're like, oh, there's actually like tons of people around.
Yeah, it's giving The Bachelor.
Yeah.
You're in like a bubble and then you think you're in love with
Yes.
everyone in there and then you're like, oh, actually, I'm not.
Never mind.
I'm really not.
Look, my parasocial relationship with Ariana Grande runs extremely deep. So I am only hoping for positive things for her.
Yeah.
I think she will dump him. He's not going to dump her. You think Ethan Slater is going to dump Ariana Grande? One day she's just going to wake up.
You sound like Molly, me, and Bob. We love it.
No, I think you are like the biggest Ari stan. Doesn't she follow you on Twitter?
Yes, but like I was deep in the trenches of Stan Twitter. Like, she would do the follow sprees.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you are like so in it. So I understand that you
I have to ride for my girl.
Were you team Dalton? Like, did you like Dalton?
Well, we didn't really know much like about him, but like she seemed to be happy. But also like after all of the like traumas she's experienced in like such a tumultuous like last decade, I feel like a lot of Ariana fans were like rooting for her. Although there are some mean ones out there.
But would you call them fans?
I mean, they call themselves that. I'm just hoping that she like finds some peace for real. I have to. Yeah.
No, she has been through a lot, and that's something that is often, I think, dismissed in the conversation around Ariana Grande is like how much crazy shit she's been through in the last decade, like you said.
Well, even before that, to be honest, like being a child star,
True,
or like teen star,
true.
Like I feel like no one talks about that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I love how we had both of our faves.
Yes, I know.
Taylor to Ari.
Yes, I just want them to be happy. Let's
Yeah.
all stop being mean on the internet.
Yeah.
Let's just be nice.
I'm gonna keep
The
hating.
entire
Lauren's
podcast just destroyed.
Lauren's like, this is what gives me a job.
The whole podcast is just gone. Okay, so now let's get into some music/album predictions. You have a prediction.
I do. I don't know if it'll necessarily come true, but I feel like after everything that happened with Liam, so I was a big One Direction fan growing up, so it was like Taylor or One Direction. I feel like there might be on the cards for like a reunion or something similar. Maybe not even like a tour reunion, but potentially like re-releasing old stuff or re-releasing like unreleased versions of tracks, and then the money actually being donated either to Bear, which is like Liam's son, and or being donated to like mental health awareness, like hospitals and different things like that.
Yeah.
I see that on the cards just because although I don't know if they're friends or not and they don't really follow one another, I just feel like they were a family for so long that it's almost like, it just seems like something that they would do. That's what I think.
Well, they've also been, I don't know if they've been teasing a One Direction reunion or it's just the fans who have been like begging for one, but this is like the opportunity to give the fans what they want and also just like close that chapter.
I think so too. Yeah.
Do you think people will see it as capitalizing on a unfortunate situation though?
Not if they donate the proceeds.
Yeah, true,
Agreed.
true.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the same. I think if they did like a tour, obviously the money they make would cover costs, but other than that, I don't think they would actually take any like.
I don't think they're
profits.
gonna tour. That's crazy.
I don't know, like maybe not like the world, but maybe they'll do like a show in the UK, like a show where Liam was from, something like that, like a Manchester vibe.
Yeah,
you know?
okay. Like a tribute.
Yeah,
I could see that. Okay.
Well, I also have a music prediction. So obviously 2024 was the year of the pop girly with the rise of like, you know, Charlie Chappell, Sabrina. So I wouldn't be surprised if the industry / like music labels start pushing for a boy pop star, like the likes of One Direction and Justin Bieber, because we haven't really had that like since I guess the mid 2010s. So yeah, I think it could be someone completely random, like who hasn't risen
Come up
yet.
yeah.
Or there are a couple of strong contenders. I think maybe the Kid Laroi has a good chance, especially because he's kind of mentored by like Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
And also like his relationship with Tate McRae kind of gives Jelena vibes, although hopefully the fandoms are much less toxic towards them.
Probably not.
Remember when I was like, maybe Tate McRae and the Kid Laroi will get engaged, and you were like, they're like
21.
20.
Like,
Like,
I was like, I hope not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think the Kid Laroi, I think it's a bit of a different vibe, but like Troye Sivan, he's kind of having his moment. Also, obviously, there's a lot of K-pop stars that could fit into that kind of like more bubblegum pop territory. And then, well, I do think like a early 20s artist who's popping up is also Benson Boone, but that he's a different vibe as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's so much pop.
No,
I don't know who
Maybe
that
like
is.
Don't you know that guy that always flips on the dance floor?
What?
I don't know how to
he's
explain
more
him.
like indie vibe.
No, this is like when Jordy and I were talking about Emma Chamberlain and Role Model. And I was like, I don't know who Role Model is. And she was like, what? And then like I got destroyed because I was like, that is the most boomer thing I've ever said. I was like, I only know him as like Emma Chamberlain's boyfriend. And she was like, girl.
Role Model is actually a decent shout, but maybe in the Benson Boone kind of category.
Yeah.
I mean, while I think like teenage girls kind of always want, you know, like a boy pop star, and often that demographic is capitalized upon even though they're consistently undervalued. I'm wondering like what the appetite for like a main pop boy would be, because I do think we're in such a girl era.
I agree with that. I feel like we don't really care about boys.
Agree. Also, what do you call a boy? Like we have girlies, like what are boys? Like they don't have anything.
The boys.
I don't like that.
The boys with a Z?
The boys.
Yeah, I don't know if we're ready to flip yet, you know, and like leave the era of the girl.
I think, yeah, it might not be 2025, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see something soon.
Yeah.
And also, to be fair, though, like, I do kind of think a main pop boy has to do less than the main pop
Of
girls
course.
to get to
Totally.
that level of fame.
Yeah.
I think about even the performances, like all the dancing.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it would be Troy then, because he's like for the girls and the gays, you know? So it's
But
still
I think they
girly.
I think the girlies, like what Hollywood would manufacture, the industry, would be a boy that is straight, quote unquote.
Sure.
So that you can be like, I have a crush on him, he's my boyfriend. Like, even if he's not straight. Like, you know, like we just don't know.
Yeah, me with One Direction.
Me with
And
Justin
Taylor
Bieber.
Swift. Me with Taylor Swift.
You're like, Gaylor? We obviously can't talk about 2025 without discussing the impending TikTok ban in the United States. For all of those who are unfamiliar with the TikTok ban, here is some context.
Obviously, the talk of a TikTok ban has been around since like 2020, with both the Trump and Biden administrations voicing suspicions that ByteDance, the Chinese-owned parent company, is sharing data from millions of US users with the Chinese government. This has already seen the app banned on federal devices and user data transferred to a US-based cloud platform. But things started to get even more serious in March of this year when the US House of Representatives passed the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary-Controlled Applications Act, which is a mouthful, but it essentially called for ByteDance to divest from TikTok or face a nationwide ban. It ended up stalling in the Senate, but it did come back, as it so often does, with when House Republicans attached a revised version of the bill in a foreign aid package. Not me getting like political, but like a foreign aid package is a must-pass bill, so often certain amendments get attached and then they end up going through when they might have not otherwise. So it ended up being passed into law by President Biden in April, and it, much like the original bill, it calls for ByteDance to divest from TikTok and or face a ban, and there is a deadline, which is January 19th, one day before Biden's term is set to expire. They're really to the
They're pushing for
deadline.
this,
To the
yeah.
deadline.
Wow.
At this point, it kind of seems likely that TikTok will be banned or restricted in some capacity just because, you know, the timeline and everything. And also a US court recently rejected TikTok's efforts to overturn the law. But obviously there are ways around this ban. For example, US investors can buy TikTok, but ByteDance has been pretty vocal in that they don't want to be forced to sell. And on top of that, with a new administration coming in, that often comes with change. But considering it's Trump and he started the ban, the war on TikTok, quote unquote, in the first place, I'm not quite sure how that would play out. On top of that, he's pretty, if with this being framed as a national security issue and Trump is pretty hawkish on China, I don't know how much that will change. But it is worth noting that during the campaign, he did make a post on Truth Social saying, if you want to save TikTok, vote for me.
Oh my gosh.
Which easily could have been a play for Gen Z voters. But just putting that out there, maybe. But I do kind of think it's weird in general though, because the US uses so much other Chinese technology. I think TikTok has just kind of become a buzzword. So it leaves me wondering what would be next. But then also I'm curious I kind of think that we might be panicking at the moment. I'm not actually sure how much a TikTok ban would affect culture in the short term, simply because from what I've heard, it's more of stopping downloads. So so Google Play and Apple Store.
Yeah, it'll be taken off the app stores, right?
Yes, as far as I understand.
And so then eventually it'll stop working because it won't be able to be updated.
So I'm curious, in the short term, people will still be using TikTok.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it will actually have such a impactful outcome.
I think it won't be so impactful right away, but it will fizzle out, right?
Of
Because
course,
the app will stop eventually at some point, stop working. Or maybe ByteDance will stop updating the app so that they can use it forever.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
What if
Also,
they do that?
who knows? But also I was going to say, I do think this is worth talking about, even though we're not based in the US, obviously.
Yeah.
But, I wouldn't be surprised if, Australia follows suit.
Yeah.
I was also curious if you guys had any thoughts, if TikTok does get banned and then, people can't use it, if, what the new culture driving platform would be, or has it not come up yet?
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to say, that short form video I feel is already definitely not out, but I think
our next prediction.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
But it's not as influential as it was a couple years ago. It felt so new, even though we obviously had Vine and stuff, but it was just the new kid on the block. So I think now we are seeing more of a shift towards that long form content like podcasts, YouTube videos, all of that. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if, moves back towards YouTube or kind of user-owned content, I know we've been saying this for years, so I actually don't really believe it, but people love to say a blog or a .com or whatever. But a podcast, YouTube, that kind of stuff. What do you guys think?
I'm confused as to how this is even legal.
I know.
Yeah.
How can you make a company sell their company?
I know.
What are you talking about? Oh, sorry. No. Sell it now. What do you mean?
I know, it's crazy.
That's delusional.
I know.
That can't be real.
I know. Well, they're saying if you sell it, we won't ban it. So you'll get to keep the users. But then I guess they won't get to keep the users because they won't own the company anymore.
Yeah. Who do they want it to sell to? Someone in America.
US based, yeah.
Mark D'Amelio.
Mark D'Amelio.
He was trying to buy it.
No, he literally tried to buy it and it was crazy.
He was like, let's get it. I'm going to get a group of investors together. And everyone's like, Charlie D'Amelio's dad is going to try and buy TikTok.
The savior of TikTok, Mark. We need you. Come back.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
where is he?
Yeah. But, that kind of goes on to, our next prediction, which is, YouTube and longer form content will return to the zeitgeist in a meaningful way. When I was doing research for this episode, I thought an interesting point in that was in the In Case You Missed It Substack by Leah Haberman, and she pointed to a phenomenon called brain rot fatigue. She basically said that there's a high likelihood that being overexposed to brain rot will lead us to crave more intentional, meaningful online engagement. Brain rot has been everywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, I have never felt worse mentally than when I'm scrolling TikTok.
Yeah.
And I go to YouTube for a reprieve, and I'm proud of myself if I watch a TV show or a YouTube video and I don't look at my phone. That's crazy. I'm this is actually me touching grass, watching YouTube.
Yeah.
No, I also think with the rise of long form content, it won't just be analytical videos, like podcasts or video essays, I think we might like see the return of longer form vlogs.
Yeah.
Simply because I think people are so fatigued, like everything that has happened like since 2020. I think people just need a break, and maybe we just want to like turn away from that kind of content and like just watch our favorite influencers have fun.
Totally. And like the rise of regular people as influencers. I know we have said that for so many years when it comes to TikTok, but it hasn't really rung true, I would say. And now I find like the YouTube channels that I'm watching have like under 1,000 subscribers. Like I'm like obsessed with just watching regular people do their makeup, or like regular people live their lives, or whatever it is. And I think that because we're going to crave, like we have influencer fatigue, we have brain rot fatigue. I feel like the anecdote to that is anecdote?
The solution?
No, it's like, what's that word that's like when you're like the medicine? What's like, it's like
the antidote.
The antidote.
The anecdote.
Yeah, like just consuming intentional content, like you said, of just going back to the good old days. And I know we've said that for so long, but I really feel like we're on the cusp of that, especially if TikTok gets banned.
Yeah.
I love TikTok, but it freaks me out that I can't remember like the last 3 videos that I watched.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
That gives me like so much like trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma? It's not trauma, but it freaks me out.
Yeah, of course.
I
It's
can't
just
remember
we're
anything.
scrolling in a haze.
Yeah,
Just
I
like-
can't remember anything, but then if someone says something in my head, I'm like answering it with TikTok videos.
Yeah.
Like I can't even think anymore.
Like the amount of like, I just speak in audios now.
Yeah.
Literally.
You do especially.
Yeah,
Thank you. It's part of my job.
true. That's also the problem working at this company. Like it's literally your job to do that.
My job is brain rot.
Yeah, literally. Speaking of tech, now with Blue Sky, we have already seen such a major uptick in people using the platform since Donald Trump won the election. Much of this shift has been driven by former X users who no longer want to support Elon Musk after he became a key figure in the Trump presidential campaign and the incoming administration. For instance, in the weeks after the US election, Blue Sky gained over 1 million users. Blue Sky has experienced other spikes in user growth this year. In October, for example, the platform's user base increased by 500,000 in a single day following X's decision to disable a block feature. Ultimately, the Elons,
The Musk.
Ultimately, with Elon's growing public presence, it seems unlikely that those who left X for Blue Sky will return. That said, X has managed to retain some of what made Twitter popular, especially the memes and pop culture discourse, which will be tough for Blue Sky to replicate. However, as far as news goes, X has become a haven for misinformation and bigotry, so it's no surprise that people are jumping over to Blue Sky.
Do you guys have Blue Sky?
Yeah, but it logs me out. If anybody else has Blue Sky, like I log into the app on my phone and then I'll like scroll and then I'll exit and then the next time I click on it, I have to log back in. Like that is a flaw.
Yeah.
I don't think it's common. Like I think I must just have a glitch, but it's really annoying.
I don't have Blue Sky.
No, because I like recently downloaded Blue Sky, and like as toxic as Stan Twitter is, that / was, it just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
But I think like there probably aren't as many users on it, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But
And it's gonna have a different culture.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
I feel like I left Twitter, so because it was
It's
terrifying.
toxic.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I'm not going to get Blue Sky. 'Cause
Yeah,
surely it'll just become like that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
well, maybe.
Yeah.
Well.
There are a couple of beauty and fashion trends that have been circulating around the digital space. Now, obviously, we can't talk about every prediction or trend that is coming in 2025, but we have pulled a few from different reports and online discourse. The first is the fisherman aesthetic. So according to Pinterest Predicts 2025 report, quote, in 2025, Gen Z will embrace a laid-back maritime attitude, bringing nautical vibes to everything, even if you can't see the sea from here. So some items / trends that the report points to are fisherman sandals, cable knit jumpers, and sardine tattoos.
Yeah.
What's a sardine tattoo?
It's
Like
tattoo
the
of a
fish?
sardine,
Wait.
yeah.
In the can, like the can's pulled
Wait,
back. or
what?
just the
Maybe.
fish?
I think maybe.
I feel like I see tattoos where people have like the can
Yeah.
pulled back and there's like sardines.
Yeah, you're
in it.
right.
Yeah.
But like,
Why?
nom nom nom.
Feeling nautical.
So while this all might sound slightly weird, it is worth noting that Emma Chamberlain has been calling this trend for years. In vlogs, Instagram posts, and even on her most recent video where she shared everything in her closet, she showed her boat shoes and shared how much she loves them. According to Daniela Guevara for Hypebae, quote, earlier this year, the Instagram account Data But Make It Fashion reported that the footwear style had increased by 4%, and trends like old money prep and Americana are synonymously making waves with style figures such as Nara Smith and Lucky Blue Smith. I mean, this all just goes together with like the trad wife vibe.
Yeah. No, like on that, I feel like the fisherman vibes, I wouldn't be surprised if they come true because like I feel like it's like siblings with preppy,
Yes.
which is what we're seeing.
Yeah, like Americana,
Yeah.
kind of that lean into conservatism.
Yeah.
Conservatism.
And
Yes,
I trust
that's
Emma
what-
Chamberlain. If she called it, I trust her. Yeah.
So another trend that we are predicting is the demise of baby Botox and filler. It's safe to say that the unrealistic beauty standards placed on women to look young likely won't ease anytime soon. However, we're seeing more influencers open up about their experiences with Botox and fillers. Anna Paul is one such example, recently sharing her journey of returning to her natural look after dissolving lip filler. Though it is worth noting she did add some back in after fully dissolving them. And that is actually the trend that I've seen is like influencers being like, come dissolve my lips with me. And then they dissolve them. They look so good. It makes them look like 10 years younger. This is me. I have lip filler. It's coming from someone with lip filler. And then they get it again, which like honestly, I would be the same. So
Well, I think with Anna, she said like her lips like look different like to how they did naturally because like she'd been getting filler for so long. So like
right. So she wanted to like
she just
prop
said
them up
like
a
there
bit.
was so much space because like her lips had expanded so much.
Yeah.
So that was kind of why she did that.
Yeah, she said there was like heaps of skin, so they felt like
Yeah.
they looked really like wrinkly.
Yeah, that makes sense. On top of this, the Gen Z looks old discourse really took off this year, with many social media users claiming that Gen Z's obsession with fillers has ruined their youth. This may lead to a shift away from focus on fillers, especially among young women in their 20s. Instead of looking filled, they will likely opt for a more natural look. Still, the conversation around looking young will continue through 2025. Particularly with celebrities like Christina Aguilera and Lindsay Lohan seemingly getting work done and looking almost identical to how they did in their 20s. I think that's what it is. Like, I think we're going to move away from, like, really early interventions, like everyone encouraging baby Botox at, like, 20 years old. Like, I think we're realizing that, of course, ages what you look like. I think as the years go on, more invasive plastic surgery is going to become the norm. It's like you're not going to be getting Botox and fillers for like 15 years before you turn, I don't know, 45. You're just going to get a facelift at 45. That's what I think is going to happen. So start saving because
Start
facelifts
saving.
are expensive. There are a couple of other beauty trends that we see gaining popularity next year, specifically the rise of messy makeup. I want to say not grunge, because I know we've been calling grunge for like years, and that really has not taken, I mean, maybe it took off a bit more this year with Brat, but like, I'm going to say messy makeup because I don't know if you guys are on the side of beauty TikTok, but there are all these legacy makeup artists who are like recreating these looks that they did on celebrities in the 2000s, 2010s. And the main kind of takeaway that everyone is getting from this is that nothing is precise. Like makeup now is so precise. It's about like everything looking perfect, you know, your winged liner, like everything is so put together. And I think the main takeaway we see from these like true working celebrity makeup artists, it's not about precision and perfection. It's about like vibes, you know? And so I think we're going to have kind of a hark back to that like messy, just like easy, user-friendly makeup.
I think Saltburn was like a really big push towards that. And like I wouldn't be surprised if that continues. I also think Brat's a really good call.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so lastly, we have a couple of random predictions that don't necessarily fit into one of the previously mentioned categories. First and foremost, we're expecting, or at least hoping, to see more brands shifting towards consumer events and activations rather than influencer-focused ones. So we've talked at length on this podcast about how Gen Z is craving community and third spaces where they don't have to spend money. Some of Gen Z's favorite social media platforms are centered on community building, like Discord, for example, which is a voice and text chat app that's become the go-to for users to connect around niche interests. Similarly, Reddit offers subreddits for users to explore their passions while staying anonymous. My random prediction, I have a couple random ones, is I predict that Rhode will venture into baby or mummy products. And I think that will be the first time maybe we see the baby.
I don't know.
You don't think we'll ever see
No,
that?
I don't think they're
I
gonna
so.
show
I don't
it.
think so.
Yeah,
I'd be
okay.
so surprised.
I think maybe Haley would be down to show, but like I think Justin's trauma maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, fair. And then I think posting on stories for the sake of posting, I think is done. Well, I said it's going to be done, and Annabelle's like, it's been done. I'm like, okay, Annabelle, okay, Jen
Yeah,
said.
that hurts. I love a story post.
Yeah, me too. But honestly, like, just based on even like my own user behavior this year, I'm posting so much less.
No,
I definitely post on stories more than I do on my grid, but I don't post on stories
Yeah,
that much.
when
I know.
Annabelle puts a story post up, I'm like,
I know.
what is it?
I'm like, what is she doing?
What is she doing?
We've
Must be good.
never posted anything that she's reposted.
Yeah.
Like anything we tag her in, never.
No.
Never.
I'm like not trying to treat my Instagram like LinkedIn though.
She just doesn't like us.
No.
I'm a stand for story, repost, stories, and side parts.
I was gonna repost sidebar.
Repost.
Oh yeah, my other prediction was that straight hair, like pin straight hair, is gonna come back with a side part.
I love a side part. I'm fighting for the millennials everywhere. Bring back the side part.
No, but I was gonna say. Oh, also my other prediction is that I think this is so random. Dixie D'Amelio is gonna quit social media.
I like how you sent that to the Slack and like there was no context. It was just like Dixie's gonna quit. Like, is there any reason you think that, or is it just that?
I mean, it feels like she's basically already quit.
Yeah.
And I think especially if TikTok goes away, she's gonna be done. Like that girl hates social media. I think she needs to find a purpose outside of like I think she should just go be like a model.
yeah,
Maybe she's not tall enough.
but like she could definitely do like fashiony stuff.
Yeah.
We have business-based predictions
Oh my God.
/ manifestations.
Manifestations.
So Alex, you can go first.
Okay. So my first one is Centennial. Centennial will go viral. So Infinite Scroll will go viral. So make that happen. And two, I think brands, like Lauren mentioned this, how we'll start doing like industry-focused events for consumers. But I feel like brands need to start working with the little guy, which is us. Even though I would argue that we produce numbers bigger than the big guys. So that's what I'm saying. I also would argue if you're a marketing manager or you represent a brand at all, you should definitely ask for screenshots from these big guys because they're lying to you.
Oh my god. Just going in, using
going
the platform that you've been given.
I am. We are good, and you should work with us. We are good. Lauren is good. As if we do this all the time. The three of us.
Can you tell that she's the one in sales?
Yeah. I also have how much views and impressions we make a year. I won't say it, but it's a lot.
You can say it.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. Okay. Do you know this year alone we grew the podcast by 450%? That's a lot. So if that continues into next year, every episode will get like 50,000 views. And do you know what? I don't think the big guys are doing this. So brands should work with the
Not
little
with such an
publishers.
engaged audience.
Not publishers, yes. And our audience is so engaged. Look at they always talk about all the brands we work with.
And we love reading the comments.
Yeah, we do.
Especially when they're nice.
Yeah, especially when they're nice. Don't be mean. Being mean is out.
Yeah.
Being nice is in.
Yeah.
And my prediction, I have two. I can't say much about them, but I am manifesting / predicting that people will stop plagiarizing us and we
True.
will no longer face any legal battles.
Oh my god, I was like, why can't you say much about these?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want.
It's been a litigious year.
Yeah. Stop plagiarizing.
And
Centennial.
yeah.
And if you're going to plagiarize, like, please credit.
Yeah.
Like,
Annabelle's like, that's my word.
literally, I'm offended.
Literally. Oh my god. Okay, guys. Well, that's it for Infinite Scroll for the year. This is the last podcast episode until we're back on January 13th with mini scrolls. Thank you guys so much for such a fantastic year. We have grown so much. Like Alex said, so many of you guys are brand new to the podcast and we're so excited to have you guys. This has been such a roller coaster of a year, figuring out how to do a daily podcast while also doing such big scripted deep dives every Friday. It's been a year of lessons for the team, but we are going to be back and better than ever in 2025, taking all of the learnings that we had from this year. So thank you guys so much. I love you guys. Please rate, review, and subscribe. As always, this episode was written by Annabelle with contributions from me and Alex.
Yeah, okay. I had no input, sure. Hey.
Edited by my husband, Sean, because Danny's on vacation. And I love you guys, and we will talk to you guys next year.
Bye.
Bye.